Hello, everyone, and welcome to the day four of Rainbow Six Pro League Season 2. We are joined by Engineer Bunny here.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, and the final match of the day, actually, the other ones were off stream, is Raze versus XGC. The lineup for and now the team roster for Raze is Wicked, Zane, Hyper, Khan, and Noob number one. And team number two, XGC, it's Spatterman, Mythical, Stanley, Sadi, and AK Deadshot. The map we're going to be playing today is Clubhouse. So interesting match to see. We haven't seen a lot of Clubhouse this season, so looking forward to it. And let's get into the match now. As we are already underway, the bans. I think they just missed the bans. Don't really know what they are. We'll see them. Anyway, so round number one, CCTV defense. We've seen a lot of teams go for that CCTV defense rather than the church defense now. It's odd seeing that because church is usually considered to be one of the most defendable sites on the map, but unfortunately we already have a rehost, and AG3D actually just calling for a rehost off the bat. Unfortunately, they cannot get a rehost this round. They will get a rehost in the next round. They will have to play with 4 attackers. Getting the thermite off the board, that is truly unlucky, especially with that server wall take. They have the Hibana has actually opened up the small hole in the wall, like a Maverick hole. I'm assuming that the Maverick was banned. Meanwhile, the Jackal has gotten the first kill onto the Bandit, so no more Bandit tricking option, as Montaigne has actually just taken into Garage. No Garage presence by the defense whatsoever, despite the man advantage. The default camera inside still not taken down. Meanwhile, Monty has just pushed all the way into side. He's just holding on to rotate as Stanley does his team kill onto its Adi and takes down XGC Wicked on the go as well. Rook gets the refrag onto the Jackal. So it's all down to the Monty and the Thatcher to get the plant down and stop this bleeding, as the Monty is holding on the rotation from the cash room as the Mute moves in and actually misses the C4. The plant has gone down, but a beautiful shot onto the Thatcher, and Mute just goes straight up for the defuse, and there's no opportunity for the Monty to stay alive, and that's the defuse. But round number one goes to the defense. Clubhouse. Pretty odd round, I would say. What do you think?
I mean, the defense did really good going right around trying to stop the Thatcher. They were really rushing that defuse to try to get that diffuser in and try to win that round. But the defense was able to defuse to get rid of the diffuser fast.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying their best. The Monty push into Garage was actually such a highlight of the round, the entire highlight of the round, because there was no presence or any defense present inside there. And unfortunately, they had to fall back into Cash and the Red Stairs. But a beautiful workaround for that. And we will now be going for a rehost. We'll be right back with you shortly. Hello, everyone, and we're back with the first free host of the game. Just a quick update: the standings that we showed at the start of the stream were actually from updated last night. So every night after the matches are over, the standings are updated and they're shown on stream for the first match that is actually on stream. So the three matches that were played today off stream will be updated, and the standings will be shown tomorrow on the first day of tomorrow, or first match of tomorrow's stream. So just so that everyone's on the same page here. And as we go into the round number 2 of Clubhouse, going down to a church defense, very generic, I would say. The kitchen hatch being reinforced. Not a lot has changed in the meta of Clubhouse defense. You pretty much do the exact same thing. You get some people to rotate upstairs and roam upstairs to keep control of the bar or garage area for as long as possible. The Pulse is definitely a very powerful operator here, as he can give out so much information just staying inside the arsenal area, and the Maestro being left with ban is definitely being used by Team Rays effectively here, as they are bringing the alibi as well, which could signify that she might be roaming on the top floor. The double hard breacher setup being brought by the attackers there alongside the jackal, so expecting the roam coming out from Rays. Fair play to them. Jackal is a very strong operator, as it's Ali brings the breaching charge instead of the Claymore, and she spots the alibi and lands some shots on it, and a beautiful pinch onto the alibi inside garage. So she was unable to rotate at all, as the push came from garage as well as the server wall that the Nomad breached open. So they were expecting this type of play by the alibi, as she is quickly taken down with only a minute taken off the board. So her job was definitely not well done, as the defenders on site now have a very daunting task of holding on for as long as possible. Thermite of Spatterman, the wall has actually been opened in a very peculiar way, so only like a small hole has been opened into it. Oh, so that's what they did. They opened the wall on the rightmost side, and then also opened a breach hole into the right wall as well, as Spatterman now rushes into a dirt tunnel and takes control of that. Meanwhile, Mythical on the Hibana opens up the kitchen hatch. So definitely a vertical take coming out from the attackers here, as a lot of shots landed onto Noom number 1 on the pulse, who's forced to rotate, and his position is made a bit more difficult to hold as he sees that open doorway inside the dog, able to heal the pulse up to about half health, which is nice as he does pick up the refrag onto the Jackal, as he's immediately refragged again by Spatterman on the Thermite, just rushing in. The diffuser is in the hands of the Alibi, and she has complete control of sight as the diffuser is now going down. The dog caught in the rotate by the Thermite, and a beautiful double by Spatterman, taking down the Rook deep inside. Actually, no, the Maestro deep inside. It's all down to the Rook outside this church hallway post plant to retake against the Rabana playing on the hatch, and the Thermite and the Nomad inside Arsenal. The plant has gone in a very far position as a beautiful shot has now landed onto the Nomad of Mythical. Halfway through this diffuser timer, as the Nomad is now just moving into the dirt tunnel, and Skrills now rotating into Arsenal using this impact hole he made. The droning now coming in a difficult time for the drone to actually do. This is not some a time where the drone use should be used. But a beautiful shot by the Nomad to finish off the kill onto Brook, who was holding on that dirt tunnel angle beautifully. She knew where the drop was. They had some idea where he might be coming from. And just the post plant angles held beautifully by the attackers there.
That Rook was all alone. That Rook really had to hold off everything all by himself. I don't think he was gonna make it. He tried though. He really did.
Definitely tried. I think that all came down to a lack of information on the hands of the defenders when they realized the Rook had absolutely no idea where the attackers was. He was just pushing in blindly, hoping to find someone in his crosshairs. He did find the Hibana, but that was about it. There was no way he was going to get that 1v3 with next to no info, with the attackers holding such great angles so far away from the defuse. The Thermite in blue and the Nomad in dirt tunnel was the perfect crossfire, as now you can see the Valkyrie and the Vigil being brought. So two very different information gathering opponents. The Vigil can obviously just roam around the map. Meanwhile, the Valkyrie's cameras can be very useful. The Capcan traps are also a very interesting addition to the defensive lineup here. The attacker lineup though remains the same, but the Capcan might be the most interesting change of them all, as now rush, the start of the round rush will be very difficult for the attackers to deal with. But one of the drones actually caught by the mute jammer. Fair play to the mute to putting that down in such perfect timing, as now the mute's actually bringing the MP5. Usually you would see a mute bring the SMG11 shotgun combo, which is very in the meta right now, but instead opting to bring the SMG11 and the MP5K. Fair play to him. Maybe he just doesn't like the recoil of the SMG11, or I don't know. Anyways, 1-1 on the round as we now go into round number 3. A church defense by Team Raze, as the attack is now moving in from the east side of the building. A pretty similar take to what they did last time around. This time they realized that the garage presence by the Alibi is non-existent. The Vigil is opting to roam elsewhere this time, hoping to stay alive for a little bit longer and to waste that much more time as Spider-Man just walks over the ledge onto the jacuzzi wall. They're expecting the Vigil to be in this east side of the building, the south side of the building, near the gym bedroom area or the floor below that. So they are bringing the drones out, but the Vigil's ability will come into play there, as the drones will be unable to spot him. But there we go, the drone shot down means the attackers have some information as to where the Vigil is, but the Vigil now has to rotate, and he decides to rotate all the way back into sight. So fair play to him. With 1 minute 50 on the board, he decides to fall back into sight without losing a single bit of health. That is amazing play by the Vigil, wasting so much time of the attackers and actually making it back into sight to affect that late round push, as now the defenders wait for the attackers to make their play, start opening the hatches, as Agent Afridi on that Jackal is still trying to find this Vigil that has been so elusive, and the Thermite actually now finally moving into the tunnel, and the Hibana has opened up to drop down as Thatcher moves down to the basement doorway, missing some important shots onto the Vigil and the Mute inside Arsenal. He will go for the peek again, just spots the head of the Mute, but decides not to peek it, as maybe he did not spot it at all. And Wicked on extremely low health, but only a minute left on the board, as the attackers are so disconnected. This is such a beautiful strategy by the defenders, and the attackers are really falling off. As there we go, the first kill onto the Thatcher, that on the Thermite, as the diffuser also goes down inside the tunnel. Now the defenders know that the diffuser is going to come from the tunnel, and it's only the Nomad in there to actually run into the site and go for the plant, and the blue push coming from the Jackal and the Hibana. So the perfect crossfire set by the attackers to actually allow the Nomad to push into the site, and the Capcan now pushing out, and his head is immediately taken off by the Jackal of Agent Afridi on that PDW. The attackers now have complete control of the mannequin side, and a beautiful C4 landed by the Valkyrie downs the Nomad, and the diffuser's down as well, and there goes the Jackal down as well, and it's all down to the Hibana in a 1v2 clutch essentially, and she's shot down as well as the kills, as both of the attackers were shot down.
Oh, the defenders did really well.
That was an amazing play by the Valkyrie, getting the C4 down on the Nomad and then shooting down the Jackal as well. Amazing play, I have to say.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, so I've now been just informed that those weren't in fact the C4 kills rather than the Capcan trap kills, which I did not see him put up. But fair play to the Capcan to actually working out in favor of the defenders. They
It was
definitely...
actually as you predicted. You said the Capcan was gonna make this round interesting, and it did.
Yeah, in fact it did, yes. So the Capcan traps actually were not droned out, I think, and the attackers were just simply not expecting the Capcan traps to be there, and they just rushed in and died. 2 people died to that. So some poor droning, I would say. It all came down to some poor droning. And not droning the site enough, not having enough info on the site.
And just rushing in too fast.
Yeah, they had good positioning, but they just rushed in too fast and were unable to check their corners quick enough to take out the Capcan traps. So, fair play to the Capcan to actually being such a huge influence on that round. As we now go into round number 4, with Team Rays actually in the lead on the defense. So that's what you usually used to seeing in a map like Clubhouse. The defenders actually winning far more maps than the attackers. The mirror being set in the red hallway, pretty standard. We saw Team Doctor doing this yesterday as well. It allows a really long sight line all the way into construction, and the Jaeger setting up his ADS just for any grenades, possible grenades coming from Team XGC. Obviously there is no grenades on the side of the attackers here, so the Jaeger ADS will only be used for the Monty smokes, the smokes that the Monty might throw, but I don't think they are going to use the smokes for the site push. Rather than they might use the smokes to actually push the guy inside garage, as I think maybe the Mute is the person inside garage right now. If you could just go on to him. Yep, there we go. It's the Mute, and actually the first kill goes on to the Bandit of noob number 1, going for that bandit trick as he catches the Maverick completely unaware, just poking the hole and meeting the barrel of the Bandit. So that's the only anti-bandit trick operator that they brought, and the Monty is actually pushed in. And that's the team kill by noob number 1, and he's immediately smacked on the head by the Monty as well. So that's complete garage control once again by this Monty. Amazing plays by the Monty, and helped out by the Bandit as well, who also gets shot down. So that is the complete site control lost to Team XGC here, as the Team Rays are now deciding to just fall back into the cash room and thinking what their next move is going to be. As the Thermite now finally moving in to open up the wall correctly. That's just a weird way of opening the site using the Hibana pellets, but Skrillex all the way inside the red stairs actually downs the Hibana. I think he was the one who downed the Hibana outside the breach. The Hibana trying to drop down, but I don't think she will be able to drop down, and the Thermite has to come up. So this just wastes some pressure seconds that the Thermite could have actually used to rotate towards the red stairs to deal with the mirror. But now the mirror is sat in such a powerful position. Beautiful smoke by the Monty to allow the Thermite to actually push all the way into sight. The C4 has now missed, and the Thermite can go for the plant. No more C4s, no more denial. And the Monty is actually holding on to the only rotation into the plant site that the defenders had. And the Monty can just sit there with absolutely no contention. He decides to unshield at the worst possible time and is shot a few times in the legs. The flank from the Jaeger coming in little late, I would say, as he does down the Thermite of Spatterman as Thatcher comes for the refrag onto the Jaeger, and now Rook once again on that 1v1 with the Monty finally gets it down, but it might be too little too late as he's immediately shot down by the Hibana of Mythical. Beautiful play by him, just staying on the rappel outside, waiting for the Rook to peek him, waiting, just perfect angle play once again.
Have to ask, what was that team kill?
That was just unfortunate. I think they were both attacking the Monty at the same time, and the mute just kind of got in the way. But the bandit shouldn't have been shooting in the first place, so it's kind of all over the place. So we can't really say anything about it. But fair play to the Monty. He actually caused so much panic in both those defenders that they just ended up team killing. The Dog Rook combo being brought out once again. Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Now the Frost being picked once again. Team Rays going for those surprise trap operators, six picking onto the Frost. This could be a very powerful play if the Frost traps are actually placed on the garage catwalk. The Monty will have a hard time trying to take into garage. So there we go, on that catwalk. Anywhere on that catwalk, the Frost mat will be a nuisance for the Monty to deal with. He would either have to unshield to take off the frost mat, or he would have to fall back and go from another side, which could cause some problems as the attackers are so much focused on that Monty actually taking control of garage. As you can see, 3 drones inside garage right now as one is shot down, but mostly the attackers are going for this garage take, as we can see the Hibana spawning near the construction and 2 spawns near the so most of the spawns near this garage area and 1 by the construction area, as the Hibana decides to move in from the other side. Valkyrie inside, deep inside this oil pit. Usually you would want the drones to not fall from the oil pit so you can keep it inside garage, but the Valkyrie inside oil pit could be the major play here for the defender, that she can hold on. She has information on the Thermite playing outside the blue window. The Montagna dropping the diffuser for his friends to pick up. Meanwhile, Spatterman very off this open window that he saw upon coming in. So yeah, that's one set of Hibana charges that have been tricked out. So she only has 2 left, but there is the Thermite on the board as well, and the Blackbeard being picked by Agent Afridi could possibly be a very crucial play for the attackers, as they might be able to once again the Hibana pellets being tricked out. So that's 2 sets of Hibana pellets being tricked. All 3 have been now bandit tricked, so the Thermite has to actually go for the open now, as now the attackers have to actually go for a completely different take on the site, and the first kill goes to in the hands of the defenders, as the Thatcher is shot down by the Rook downstairs in stockroom, and the refrag coming out from Blackbeard, as the Monty's actually stuck on those garage stairs. He has nowhere to go, and I think he just shot down. He just an ADS to shoot down the shoot down the Frostmat. Is now moving into garage. The garage control finally in the hands of the attackers, as they also managed to open up the server wall. The defenders now falling back into the cache room. Crap. Using the all chat to communicate with their fellow team members. Frostmat on this window might be very crucial, as another kill goes in the hands of the defenders, as the Hibana is taken out. Hold her utility was used, but this amazing angle being held by the defender once again, as another kill goes in the hands of Wicked. It's all down to Monty and the Thermite once again to hold off this post plant, as he's planted the bomb, but a beautiful knife actually onto it's Adi on the Monty, but it's all down to Schwarzman to hold this post plant. Playing on the balcony, actually falling down. I think he just missed someone rotating from blue window, but he's actually jumped out once again, and Rook Fat AF gets the kill onto the Thermite, and that's round number 5 in the favor of the defenders. And that Frostmat actually wasting far more time than it actually should have. The Thermite should have just immediately shot it down and allowed the Monty to jump in far more quicker than he has to. And the Frostmat on top of the garage stairs was the one that really stopped the Monty from moving at all. And that wasted so much more time that it needed to, just working out for the defenders in the end. Not enough time. They just decided to all rush in, and they just died in the crossfires. 3-2 on the scoreline, as noob number 1 is actually completely fragging out with that cap can. Nonetheless, there's 2 kills in the previous church defense. It's being absolutely crazy. As they will now go back to a church defense, church Arsenal defense once again. The 6th pick off the Kaid, so fair play to them for not actually playing the Kaid, but I think he would have been far more important, and maybe the Vigil might not have worked out as much as the Kaid. So 6th pick off the Kaid onto the Maestro is definitely an interesting pick nonetheless. The attack is going for the Fuse. Now, that's the adaptability I was talking about. Fuse and the Sledge. They realize that someone always plays deep inside Arsenal, and they're picking someone to get rid of that position. The Sledge can just open up the entire floor, and the Fuse can rain hell on that side. And actually make anyone who's sitting there his life of living hell. The Mira being played finally is completely odd to see her unbanned, especially on a map like Clubhouse, where on this side and all the other sides she's so much more effective than any other attack, any other defender, as Rookfire goes for that deep Vigil roam once again, running all the way up the main stairs. The Capcan inside waiting to put down his Capcan trap so that they are actually not spotted early on and not shot down early on, and this push in. So 2 people now outside construction, just opening up this construction wall. The Thermite and the Thatcher actually moving towards the kitchen doorway, and the drones now finally going in, as the first kill actually goes to Agent Afridi on that Sledge, taking down the Capcan. I think he was going for that Capcan trap inside the doorway, but was caught unawares by the Sledge. So really fast push by the Sledge to take down the Capcan. So that's possibly 1 C4 off the board as well, had he had the C4s and not the impacts. But that's 1 C4 off the board with only 1 grenade used. So fair play to them. This Mira, Shields, and Maestro strategy inside blue is really working out, as the Sledge is now having a difficult time taking care of that, and the Vigil will now rotate away after getting the kill onto the Hibana. So that's a really important pick by the defenders, as now beautiful run in by the Thermite. It gets the pick onto the Maestro, who's holding on to blue, and this is all falling apart so quickly for the attackers, as now the Mira is stuck deep inside Arsenal, and the Fuse can now start raining hell on her, as the Thermite is now opening up the barricade and just waiting to push in, and the Mira just holding her angle, and she's not being punished for staying in that position. That's a very odd play. The Sledge has time to actually rotate into kitchen and start raining hell, and there we go. The Fuse finally is starting to use his pellets, as now Spider-Man just moves in as a Thermite just being fragmite right now, and the Vigil has nowhere to go. He has to rush in to stop the plant, and is immediately shot down by Spider-Man on that Thermite, getting the defuse plant down, and a beautiful shot onto the Vigil from above the boxes.
The attackers played very well in this round. They actually had a plan. It seemed like they had a plan going in.
They had a plan going in, and that Sledge was so perfectly played. Even though he didn't use his utility as well as I would have liked him to use it, but he did get that early pick on the Capcan that really helped him in the long run, as he still had so many traps in his hand, as the Capcan now being picked with that elite skin. So that's definitely $15 down the drain, but let's not talk about that. But the Capcan pick is definitely a very influential pick, as now the Mira being 6-pick onto a gym bedroom defense. What's going on with Team XGC? Not opting for any of the conventional sites and instead going for gym as their first site. Maybe they have some really smart strategy, as Spider-Man and Agent of Freely completely fragging out for their teams with and noob number one with 8 and 6 kills, and noob number one Skrillex on the other team 5 and 6 kills after the rehost, I believe. So fair play to them, really carrying the team on their shoulders right now, but everyone else also doing their jobs perfectly, and perfect half. But I think this half actually goes in the favor of Team XGC, because now they're going on the defense and they have a better chance of actually holding on to the defense, and they have a chance to win more rounds on defense, as Castle and Mira pair, something we saw from Team Doctor yesterday, and which was the only site that they actually were able to successfully defend in the first try, reinforcing this wall rather than leaving it open. So what we saw Team Jahal do yesterday, which completely threw Team Doctor off their guard, was actually have that wall open and not allow the Thermite to actually comfortably open up that wall and allow the multi to move in. Rather, the attackers are actually opting to bring the Zofia and Twitch setup. We're just waiting to see if any run-outs, and the Twitch has actually moved all the way for that Claymore. So that's a very interesting Claymore. If the defenders are actually not aware of it, they can easily just die to it very early on, and the Claymore is actually shot down pretty quickly. No bandit team coming out from the bandit, so that's pretty easy open for the QB wall. Let's see how they actually work this setup, as Castle has not actually castled the door. Instead, he chooses to stay there. Meanwhile, the first pick goes to the Capcan of Agent of 3D, sitting inside this logistics area onto the Jackal. So that's the only 2 smokes off the board on the hatch of all the places. How do you lose that with an ACOG? The Capcan definitely using that elite skin, the fact that it's far more darker than the default skin, to allow him to actually stay there undetected. Skrillex on the Thermite will actually open up this construction wall as well. So a double-sided push, I'm guessing, coming out from the attackers here, as Rugfa AF on the house balcony, the CCTV balcony, I think. Yeah, he's towards the construction CCTV balcony area, just waiting to see if anyone will decide to run out from there or peek from there, as he will come into contact with the bandit pretty soon as he is peeking around. And this really, really late castle barricade, I'm surprised it was not punished, but that late castle barricade coming in, and now Zofia actually has to use her utility to get rid of that castle barricade, so it's immediately shut down. But fair play to them to actually deciding to put that down later on and not being punished by it, as Zofia was literally right in front of him. As only 30 seconds left on the clock, the attackers really need to start doing something, as they're all bundled up inside construction 4v4. The bandit is shot down. 25 seconds on the board. The push has to come to shove, as they're still just looking around to see if anything will move. The castle is prone behind the bed. The attackers really need to start moving in, but they're not decided as to what to do. The defenders are in perfect position. The castle gets one onto the thermite, whereas the jackal and is immediately refragged. Thatcher actually, and the diffuser going in, but is immediately shot down by the mirror, and it's a complete collapse by the defense onto the attack. The attack really lost sight of what they were trying to do. They weren't really aware of their surroundings, and they're actually calling for a rehost.
The castle was a very good pick for this round, for that round for the defense.
Yeah, just holding on to those two windows allowed them to just stay and play inside the bedroom gym area, the site, and hold on for that late end round push, and will rehost considerably soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back after the rehost round number 8 here. The first round on the switch actually going in the favor of the defense on the gym bedroom defense. Are they now going for the CCTV? So, not opting for church just yet, staying on that second floor site. Once again, bringing the Kaid and the Valkyrie. So, the two different operators from the ones that Team Rays brought on their defense. So fair play to them. Maybe they have a different strategy in play. The double hard breacher setup as well as the Twitch and Zofia. So no Jackal being brought. Instead, they're going for the Hibana, I think. Yeah, the Hibana is the change from last time as they realize they're going CCTV take. Not bringing the Maverick. I will still question that. If you have all three hard breachers available on a map like Clubhouse, you should bring them, even if you're not going to use their ability straight up for the strat. You should realize that you will lose at least one of them. You should always have a contingency plan in case you lose one or both of your hard breaches. As the bandit pick going up in the server wall, the Hibana and the Thermite actually going together as he actually picks the right one. Can he get the Hibana pedals as well? And no, he's unable to get it, and he's immediately shot down by the Thatcher staying right next to the wall. And that's the first kill in the favor of the attackers. Bandit down. The Valkyrie roaming deep inside the gym bedroom area is actually able to shoot down the Twitch moving in from the window, and Rook Fatef is unable to move in, the information not being relayed fast enough. The Valkyrie is right there. The information has not been given away to Zofia, who's decided to just stay on the stairs. She could have easily moved in and went for the refrag onto the Valkyrie, who has now gone through a rotate hole made by the Kaid. So the Kaid actually moving in to support the Valkyrie on this deep roam inside master bedroom. Oh yeah, so the C4 would be used as to make the rotate as Zofia is stuck on the main stairs. Meanwhile, the server wall has been opened up, but only a minute left on the board as now the attackers have not taken control of Garage yet, so the Jaeger is actually sitting in the perfect position to deny this push later on in the round, sitting behind this deployable shield, actually making his position far more playable. As the Valkyrie still inside gym bedroom, the Rook gets a kill and is immediately refragged onto the Valkyrie. So it's down to a 3v3 with only 40 seconds left on the board. The Mira on very low HP after that reset, so she has to play for time now, but she does have that C4 on her as well. The Hibana moving into construction as well as the Zofia. As now they are looking to push in from either side of the site. The Thatcher on downstairs is immediately shot down by the Kaid on top of the red stairs, and it's all down to a 2v2 as Zofia takes down the Mira. Jaeger pushing onto the window very aggressively, shoots down the Zofia. It's all down to the Ivana, who's also shot down using that Mira window perfectly. And an amazing play by the defenders, is playing passively and aggressively at the right time, the perfect time to peak, where they realized they had the time on their side. They decided to stay back and push at the perfect time, as Agent of 3D and Mythical playing exceptionally well and just clutching that round in the end in that 2v2.
Yeah, I'm here.
So round number 9 now, as the Blackbeard is being brought. So what do you think of the last round,
The
Bunny?
defenders played really well. They defended really well.
Yeah, they really held their side for as long as they could. They didn't peek too much. They didn't let off any early picks. The Jaeger could have easily just peeked that Thermite who was pre-firing into him and baiting him into that peak. Instead, he chose to just stay there and peek when the Thermite actually was forced to push in, as now they're going for the Church defense. So let's see how they play that one differently, as no Jaeger on the board, rather a Kite. That's definitely interesting. So no grenades on the hands of the attackers, but definitely a couple of flashbangs on the Blackbeard, and the smokes in the hands of the Jack could be their undoing if they decide to go for a dirt tunnel take, as the Blackbeard inside dirt tunnel will be a very difficult thing for the defenders to deal with, essentially, as now no Mira being brought as well. So the Vigil Pulse duo, the Pulse probably looking to play deep inside Arsenal. Nothing too different about it. I think they made a rotate hole into the hallway for him, and no, they didn't. So that ball, the rotate hole is for the site, but the ball is actually left soft. So if the attackers had an Ash or a Zafia, they could have easily breached that and just opened up the wall to attack the Pulse playing inside. Agent Afridi on the kite, waiting to see if he can actually kite trick the Hibana, as the Hibana and the Thermite are being brought once again. Hibana is standing outside waiting for intel, I think. He's just standing there admiring the wall.
Is she droning?
No,
Maybe
she's not. She's
no.
not. No, no, that's not a spectator glitch. She's
That's
definitely not droning. No.
maybe she's thinking about what she wanted to do.
Mm. Anyway, so the first Jackal ping actually going in, and the Kaid, I believe, has been tracked inside the tunnel. No, actually inside the site, as the first kite claw goes in, and the first shot onto the Pulse, as the Pulse and the Rook taken down, the Rook being taken down by the Jackal, and the Blackbeard gets the first pick onto the Vigil. So that's an amazing, ruthless clear by the attackers, as now the only two anchors on site, and they're not even on site. Only the kite is actually near site. Meanwhile, the Mute is deep inside Oil Pit, waiting to see if anyone will drop Garage, but the Blackbeard is actually playing from a completely different angle, and the Kayet is the only one left on site to hold on for more than a minute. The Mute Jammer is now finally coming into play, as Blackbeard with that April Fool's skin just pushing into blue, realizing they have blue control, but the Mute actually still inside Oil Pit. Yes, so the Mute still inside Oil Pit, pushing into blue, gets two beautiful kills, but the diffuser has been taken off, so the diffuser not being planted just yet. It's down to a 1v3. Thermite decides, the Thatcher actually decides to rotate all the way to the other side of the site and still go for that plant, as the Jackal covers the doorway. There's no way the Mute can actually move into site for this retake. He has to go all the way back. He gets a beautiful shot on the Skrillex on the Jackal. It's only a 1v2. Can we see the most amazing 1v5 clutch for Bro League Season 2, as Spatterman moves in? He has two of the attackers cornered inside.
Oh.
He doesn't see the Hibana, who's also there as well. Just look behind you, and the Hibana gets the clutch kill onto the Mute. That was so close. The Mute
So
had
very close.
yeah, that Mute, had he just stayed for that defuse and not went for that long rotate, he could have easily spotted the Hibana and won the gunfight, as he was in that zone of picking up five attackers in those fights that he shouldn't have won. He caught the Thermite and the Blackbeard unawares from behind, then he caught the Jackal and peeking him very aggressively. The Thatcher just straight up losing his gunfight was the only way that could have been described, and the Hibana just hiding and making sure she confirms the kill onto the Mute. So fair play to the attack to actually get their first attacking win for this half. So Team Race getting
If
their
that Mute got that Hibana kill, that would have been an epic round.
that would have been actually the first clutch ace of Rainbow Six Pro League Season 2, if not the entire league. As our screen has now gone black, we are unable to gather any information. just waiting for intel from the admins to see when we can get back into the game, and there we go. We are back in the game for round number 10 here, 4-5 situation. Could we be looking at one more draw, the only draw of the day 4, as Team Rays are not ready to give up just yet. Yep. Yeah, so 5-4. We could be looking at another 6-6 draw here, as Team Rays is coming back with in these rounds that they really shouldn't be losing. The last round especially was very close, and close as it was a 1v5 clutch by the mute that was just shut down by the Hibana in the last kill. Anyway, so round number 10, and a similar setup being brought out by both the teams, except for the defenders, who bring out a very different lineup. Something that they brought out for the last time they actually defended Gym Bedroom. So the Castle, Capcan, and Mira, with the Jaeger and the Bandit. The Bandit being the only pick. Actually, no, the Bandit wasn't even picked last time. So completely new setup here. So they definitely have this site locked down, as the Thermite actually going for this jacuzzi wall take. So last time they didn't actually peek this jacuzzi wall. They didn't cause any problem for the defenders from this jacuzzi wall. The Jaeger now behind this mirror wall shoot down one drone. His position has now been moved away. He has to stay there, and he has to keep control of this bathroom and this breach for as long as possible, and deny any entry from that breach for as long as he possibly can. Meanwhile, the Hibana on the construction parking doorway actually waiting to see if anyone will jump out, as one of the castle barricades on the window has been opened up, I presume by the Hibana pellets, if not the breaching charges that the Hibana has on her, as some shots have landed onto the arm or the shoulder of the Hibana, as she is damaged, but no shots reciprocated. As halfway through the round, as the Hibana pellets now go on to the mirror window, the Jaeger deciding to peek, but decides to not go outside to shoot the Hibana pellets, as it's too late. The Rook on that Blackbeard is extremely low on health, as he decides to rotate to the balcony now, the CCTV balcony on the roof right now, just peeking on the doorway, as a run out kill from Mythical, the castle running out from construction window, a beautiful kill onto the Hibana. So that's the hard breach, but the hard breach couldn't have really done anything more, as the Thermite now just rushes all the way into bathroom. He has control of bathroom and essentially control of site right now, as he sees the defender just scurrying off. They're playing this in a very retake style, as they're not attempting to attack the attackers at all as they push into site, but the Thermite is now taken down. It's down to a 3v5. The refrag coming from the Jackal, who is stuck inside this bathroom, with the Jaeger holding the angle, and the Thatcher actually getting the kill onto the Capcan. The Bandit pushing into the Jackal inside bathroom. The Thatcher now taking that position for the Diffuser, gets the kill onto the Bandit. It's all down to the Mira in a 2v1 with only 16 seconds left. She has that Mira window, but she's looking the wrong way. Oh no, as she looks the wrong way, waiting for the push coming from that side. The Thatcher is actually going for a plant on the hatch, so that's a very difficult position. That's a very odd position for the plant to go down, as the Mira can essentially just go down and open up the hatch and essentially just win the round. But that C4 getting stuck on the roof might be the only nail in the coffin, the last nail on the coffin for Spatterman here, as he's once again put in this clutch situation. He spots the Blackbeard looking the wrong way, doesn't hear the Mirror rotating away into the bathroom. It's that quarter of the timer now left, as Skrillex just has to hold on for a few more seconds, as the Mirror baits the defuse and gets the shot onto the Thatcher, gets a shot onto Mira. Yeah, but she moved too far back. She saw that diffuser on the hatch. All she had to do was shoot the hatch. But she was just too late, and unfortunate timing. from the Mira. She was shot down immediately right there. So a really, really close round by the attackers, which they almost lost once again had it not been for Skrillex on that Skrillex actually on that Thatcher, just waiting the timer out and killing
I
the
think it
Mira.
was just a time situation. The Mira was panicking and didn't know at that point, like,
What she
what to
had to do.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. She was panicking and she saw the diffuser and she was so focused on diffusing that she didn't see the soft hatch right under it. So
Yeah.
fair play to the Mira for actually trying as best as she could, but there was just no way she was going to get that diffuse down. The timer was up. And her only way was to get the kill onto the Thatcher, but she had no information on the Thatcher outside the window, who was so incredibly quiet as um, I believe it was Spaterman who is top fragging for their team right now. As the, is yeah, so it's Spaterman with 5 kills after the rehost, and Strix and Rook FAF on 4 kills apiece on their team. As the defenders decide to go back to the gym bedroom defense with the Caveira on Agent 3D. So yeah, opening up. That is the worst possible way. Such a waste of on that floor, the bottom of that wall. Usually you would have a far better way, but I think if it works and if you can see through it, then it's fine. But now the mirror setup quite similar to what they did last time. This time, instead of the, I believe it was Vigil last round. I can't remember, but yeah. So I think the castle lost HP when the Caveira was trying to open the holes in the floor, or maybe the impact that the Hibana threw, the Caveira threw later on. But once again, this wall being shot through and bandit batteries put onto it to make the attacker's life that much more difficult. The Montagne being brought by the attackers though. This could be the play that they really need, as the Monty can easily just push all the way into gym bedroom, but all these rotation holes open inside gym bedroom could be the defenders undoing, as the Monty will have so much information on the other side that you have to just relay through. And it's Adi on the Jaeger once again in a similar position, this time with only a minute drained from the round time here, as Rook AF is once again on that roof. I think the Thatcher threw a battery inside into the site as well, into that wall, to get rid of the bandit batteries on that wall, but I'm not sure, as he doesn't have any bandit batteries on him. But I think he did put one there, but just lost it. Bandit tricked the Hibana. He could have, but I think he was playing a different position, as he now decides to rotate into gym bedroom, realizing where the push is coming from and not staying inside that construction for too long. The breaching charges on the Blackbeard are definitely a better play than stun grenades, as now he can open up all these castle barricades that are set up. As another kill by Stanley on that bandit, and the German duo of Jaeger and bandit on Isadi and Stanley just really wreaking havoc, as the Monty's also shot down. The refrag coming from the thermite to absolutely no avail, as Isadi just finishes up the kill onto the thermite as well. A beautiful round by the defenders, realizing the mistakes that they made last time around and fixing them immediately in the
That was
immediate
very
round.
fast. That was just super fast. They just got them down super fast. They
Yeah,
all
the
went down like
Monty duo,
flies. Super
they
fast.
all went down like, yeah. I, I I don't know what happened there. Honestly, the Monty
Yeah.
had so much control. All he had to do was just move in. I don't know what went wrong there. I don't know. Maybe the comms weren't right. Maybe the droning wasn't sufficient. But if this trend pursues and they're unable to defend this CCTV site, we could be looking at a very, very close match point here, as the IQ now finally being brought, realizing the Valkyrie pick. The Valkyrie is actually being 6-pick off to a Mira, but the IQ is still going to be important, as he will be able to pick up the Capcan traps that might be laying around on random doors that the attackers might not be aware of, but the IQ can easily spot them and call them out to the attackers to take them out. As we go on to match point, a very extremely close match here. 5-6 scoreline to the defenders. The CCTV defense for the final possible defense of this matchup. The Capcan being played with the Maestro being one of the strongest operators on defense right now, with the strongest gun on defense with the LMG, and one of the weaker guns on defense on the Capcan, but the elite skin with the Capcan house could definitely pair. This time the Jaeger's actually reinforcing this wall. Last time when they defended CCTV, this wall was unreinforced and Jaeger was actually shot through the softball, but now this time the Jaeger actually reinforcing that wall so he can sit inside the garage for even longer. The Capcan moving into construction to put some late traps in there, and the entire team spawns near warehouse. This looks to be a straight up garage and server push. They're going to open up the wall and take into garage and just push in. No Monty being brought this time. This was the only time they could have possibly used the Monty, as no frost on the board, so the Monty could have easily just pushed in and taken control of that garage, but they decided to bring the IQ, which can only spot the Capcan traps on the doorways. That's about it. The Bandit waiting to see when the thermite charge will go down, as the Hibana pellets and the... I think that's one, yeah, so that's one thermite charge. Bandit tricked, as the Hibana pellets going in sequence again. This dance with the thermite and the Bandit, so he does get the thermite charge. Meanwhile, elsewhere, it's Rookfat TF on the Zofia getting the kill on the Capcan on that deep roam inside gym bedroom, who was spotted out before the round started. So a fair play to the Zofia actually getting that kill, and it's Stanley who's reinforced the Capcan's position. He does land some very crucial shots onto the Zofia, who uses a 2 armor 2 speed to just rotate away, and Stanley is in hot pursuit of this Zofia, and a beautiful shot through the soft wall, through the plants onto the Zofia. I don't even know how he saw him, but he did, and that is a very important kill, as meanwhile the thermite pushes all the way into garage, doesn't see the Jaeger who was just on his left side, who now finally decides to drop, and another beautiful kill onto the IQ. So it's all down to Skrix, and no, it's all down to Skrix on the Hibana to do a 1v4 mad clutch, as he's also shot down by the Jaeger. So amazing plays by the Jaeger to finish off this match. 7-5 in favor of XGC. An amazing match. One of the most amazing matches I have casted in the second season, I have to say.
Yeah, they did some excellent defending in the last 2 rounds especially.
Yeah, Isadi on that Jaeger, just amazing plays. Playing on that garage, not being spotted in that corner, catching that thermite off guard, 7 kills, and then catching the IQ off guard on that wall. And the Hibana kill in the end was just unfortunate for the Hibana, I would say. But fair play to them. An amazing match by both teams. GG's in the chat. And we will see you tomorrow on day number 5 of Rainbow Six Pro League Season 2. And XGC Gaming winning 7-5 here. An amazing matchup, a very close matchup. And we will be live with the Rainbow Six Pro League Season 2 day 6